Good morning. It is, I don't know why I tell you the day every time, I'm sure you don't care, but it is, just so that I remember. It's a Thursday. It is Thursday, the 16th September. I have to get cracking with drawing today. Now, this isn't going to be like a particularly, um, like, it's going to be a studio vlog because it is part of my studio vlog series, but it's not going to be like going out and about and doing this and doing that. Because this week I just have to get the drawing done. It's going to be a bit tight this month because we're halfway through the month and I've already done 2 national holidays and there's 2 more national holidays coming up. So on top of those and the weekend, plus I'm getting my second vaccine, which might wipe me out for a day or two. I've no idea yet. I'm like, my actual days when I can actually work, I get like getting fewer. I'm going to count them right now and I'm going to scare myself silly. But including today, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 working days left to get everything done. So I'm slightly panicking, but I can do it. I'm sure I can. But yes, I did quite a little bit of drawing yesterday. And I'm going to show you some of it now, and I'm going to do a voiceover because I just got my head down and just drew yesterday. I did try and film it. I started filming it, and then I think the camera must have gone off and I didn't realise because it just stops. But I will show you what I did yesterday, and I've got a few other little bits to show you, some things that I got in the post that I ordered to give to my Project Post patrons. Yeah, so I'll just show you a few bits, a few updates around the office, show you what I did yesterday, and then I'll probably get on with a little bit more drawing today. And hopefully I'm going to get my digital sheets out to my patrons this week. So it's going to be sort of like a draw with me video, sort of, a little bit like work with me, see what I'm getting up to. So I hope you enjoy it. So I thought I'd start off with a little bit of footage of the state of my room. So this is... I got a new lamp. I've treated myself to a new lamp. I have been wanting a lamp at my desk for God knows how long. I mean, how long I've been doing this, and I haven't actually ever had a lamp on my desk so that I can see what I'm doing. Mostly that's because I do most of the work in the daytime, and normally there's enough daylight to be able to see. But I thought it would be quite good to have one just to hopefully improve the quality of my videos a little bit, actually. I might be getting a ring light, which I'm going to then attach onto that tripod you can see, but for now, if I angle this light against the wall, it gives me enough sort of non-directional light, so not too many shadows to film. But as you can see, I also got myself a new tripod, which means it's a lot easier to film overhead now. I don't have to worry about the tripod being in the way as it was, and I can have the full desk completely clear. So a big thank you to my Patreons for supporting me, because I used your money to buy those. And my little cute little bookmark sets arrived. So these I talked about in my last video. They are little sort of retro, I suppose. They're not, I don't know, they're vintage. They look like they're from the 90s to me. Little bookmark sets that you can get, well, you used to be able to get when you'd go on your travels around Japan. I think you get them from like tourist shops, I think. And I didn't realise this, but I got winter ones, which is perfect because I'm going to copy these. So I'm going to be sending out one each to each of my Project Post patrons, but if there's any left, I'm going to keep them, obviously, but I'm actually going to scan them all, and I'm going to use them in my Christmas journal, because they're all sort of snowy, wintry themed ones, and I don't know, I probably subconsciously noticed that when I was buying them, but I didn't like obviously notice it. So again, this is another one, another set, and I'm going to use the little pocket envelopes they come in as well. That'd be really cute to have that in my Christmas junk journal, and then I can like put something inside it, like a little journaling card. And even the pattern inside is so sweet. Yeah, so as I say, one of these will go out to each of my Project Post patrons. So I hope you enjoy them. It'll be random as usual. I'll just wrap up all the parcels and then you just get a completely random one. But I hope you enjoy them. So I thought I'd show you my sketchbook and the state of my sketchbook at the moment. I did the line work for these drawings very early one morning when I couldn't sleep, and then I kind of coloured them in between, like hanging out with my son at the weekend. And I was starting off thinking book theme, and then it kind of went into planners, and then it went into the still life theme. But it's sort of a mixture of little styles here. I tried drawing figures, and my favourite one was that really little rough one, that tiny one. She just looked really cute at that desk there. But yeah, that's where I am at the start of the working week. I have that sketchbook to refer to. So it's not a particularly expensive sketchbook. It's, I guess, probably you would call it mixed media paper, or Kent paper, I think it might be. But it's just really good for, it's sort of like a non-pressure sketchbook. It's not a very expensive one, so I don't feel like pressure to do beautiful works of art in it. And then I'm just flicking through my Cotman Midori notebook, which I use for kind of everything, keeping my creative brain on track. I wrote some notes about ideas for digital sheets for Patreon this month, and I'm just sort of reading through those and trying to sort of work out where to start, really. Start for the day. So the first thing I do is, using my sketchbook as reference and using my random little idea notes, I'm just going to draw out some rough sketches. I guess they're called thumbnails, rough sketch designs for how I might want to do some layouts, because the first plan for today is to design some book plates, some sort of ex libris type book plates that you could put in front of a book or in the front of a planner or a notebook or anything. And I just want to kind of have a play around with composition and work out which arrangement I like the best. So these are the ones I've ended up with, and so you can see they're very rough. They're not like particularly artful. And I played around with the words from the library of, from the collection of, this book belongs to, and I decided to do this book belongs to because it's quite generic. And also I thought I'd show you this little certificate my son got from school for not forgetting things 1 month. Didn't forget any of his, the things he needed. So we got a little certificate. But I really liked the way it had all those cute little stationery and school items around the edge. So I thought I'd use that as inspiration. Now I've got my cotton glove on my hand because the oils from my hand do get onto the watercolour paper, and then the paint doesn't work so well when I come to paint. So once I've drawn out my pencil sketches for how I want everything to look, I'm coming in with the Tombow, what's it called? It's a Tombow Fude pen. I think it's Fude Nosuke. I might have made that up. I use it because it's a really, really good width variation, and it is waterproof, so I can come in with watercolour paint afterwards. They're quite popular. I will put the link down below for anybody who's interested in using one. But yeah, I really, really enjoy using these pens, and I use them all the time. Highly recommend them. And then I'm using watercolour this month. I've done a lot of gouache recently and a lot of coloured pencil, but I wanted to have a go with my watercolours again. I kind of miss them. I hadn't used them for a while. So I get my trusty, I think it's a Cotman Winsor & Newton palette that I've had a long time. I think Cotman might be the student range. I'm not sure. I haven't invested in very good quality watercolours yet. Maybe one day I can do that, but at the moment the student grade seems to work perfectly fine for me. And I have, as I said, sentimental value to this paint set. I've had it since I was a child, so yeah, that's what I'm using. Yeah, so I'm just colouring in. I'm sticking to a colour theme that I kind of accidentally came upon when I was doing my rough sketches in my sketchbook, which was quite an autumnal theme, which I'm really pleased with, because from next month I'm going full on Christmas. So this month is my last chance to kind of do something vaguely autumny. So yeah, I had a tinge of blue and a tinge of yellow, but mostly it's like oranges and browns in there. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this colour palette. I do actually run out of footage, I'm afraid, so I don't have any more actual drawing to show you. My camera turned off, so I'm afraid that's all I've got, but I hope that was like a good little insight into how I sort of get started, at least, on doing my final drawings. And what you don't actually see here because of the missing footage is that after I'd done the watercolours, I then go back in with some coloured pencils, and I was using my Tombow Iroji 10 coloured pencils. And I also had a little play with some sort of glittery, sparkly watercolours that I also have. So yeah, once the watercolours dry, I just come back in and sort of add details and patterns in with the pencils, and then a little bit of glitzy with the sparkly watercolours. Okay, so that's where I'm up to with the drawings, and I am going to get cracking on making the digital sheets now. I hope I've got enough raw material. I have the, I'll show you a close for these, but this is the like 2 frames. I'm going to do one of these for everybody in Patreon, probably the book one. I'm going to put some text in here that you can then cut out if you don't want to use it. So I'm probably going to give one of those in my lowest tier, and then, well, for everybody, and then everyone else will get this one plus all the other bits and bobs as usual. You'll get 4 full sheets of 4. You'll get 3 in the top 2 tiers. You'll get 3 full printouts of A4 digital things to print. And I'm thinking, because I really actually like a lot of these things in my sketchbook, and as always. Sometimes, not always, sometimes the first thing you draw it ends up being the best, and then you can't, when you try and recreate it, it's like, nah, no, it doesn't work. So I may end up scanning these in or photographing them and trying to kind of see if I can make them look a little bit less sketchbooky. But to be honest, I quite like the sketchbooky, not rough, but like hand-painted, hand-drawn sort of feeling. I quite like having that in my planners. Like, I don't want to have like beautiful works of art necessarily. I quite like to have like these paint splots around the edge of here, things like that. Something that looks like more handmade. So perhaps, maybe patrons, what do you think? Do you like the really polished, perfect images, or do you like to have something that looks quite like somebody's done it in their own journal, sort of thing? And let me know what you think. But yeah, I don't know. I just quite like some of them, and I'm like, oh, I want to use those as well. I'd quite like to have these ones in my journal. Anyway, I'll show you a close-up of those at the stage they're at now, and then I'll get cracking and move on to the next thing. So yeah, just to quickly show you, these are the final pieces of paintings that I did, and they all get scanned into my computer and fiddle around and chopped up, and basically I just kind of make them all up into my digital sheets, which I will show you next. Okay, so I've done all my digital sheets for Patreon, and I'm sitting here and I'm kind of in shock. Like, I really like them, and I don't think, I'm not used to this feeling, and it's very strange. I don't think I've done a set of sheets yet that's made me think, do you know what? You can do this. You can do this, Emily. You're not just pretending, playing at being, someone who sells their work for money. You could do this. Like, I don't know. I'm just really like them. So I'm going to show you them now and see what you think. Yeah, I'm sort of like, I'm a bit sort of, I don't know. I'm really pleased with myself. I'm like, well done. You did a really good job, which is really unusual. So yeah. God, I don't know. I'm in shock. Anyway, I won't talk anymore. I will turn the camera around and I'll show you what I've done today. Okay, so I'll show you each sheet one by one and just kind of talk a bit about talk a bit about the process behind it. So I'll start with the mini sheet. So this is the one that all my patrons for this month get. And if you join my Patreon anytime in the next 12 months, these will be available. Because I'm planning to take, every time I do when I get to doing a full year of Patreon, which will be in January 2022, I am thinking to take anything over the 12 months off Patreon and put it on my Etsy shop, because my Etsy shop's not getting any love at the moment. And I'm aware that there are people that will want to buy these things but not want to sign up to Patreon for whatever reason. So yeah, there will be, when you join Patreon, you will be able to get the last 12 months of printables, which is like really, really good value, if you ask me. It's just the way Patreon works, and a lot of artists run this system. So you do actually, when you sign up, you actually get to access all the previous stuff. And if you do sign up to my Patreon, please feel free to download everything, because it is there. It is there for you. I know how it works. We all know how it works. It's not like you shouldn't take them or whatever. Like, just go back and look through the last 12 months of downloads and just download whatever you fancy using. It's absolutely fine. No problem with that. Yes, so this is the sheet that is going to be available to all tiers. So this is, I call it a mini sheet, but it isn't always mini. I mean, I have been thinking perhaps I need to start doing it on A5. I basically call it a mini sheet because in my head it's like it's kind of like a sample sheet. So it's kind of like, you don't get everything on there. You don't get all the other bits and bobs, but you get like a little sample. And I decided to do 2 book plates and 2 strips of pattern paper in case you want to use the patterns. Now, this is the first time I've done this, but I've actually done a colour version that I've coloured and then a black and white version, because I thought it might be quite fun for you to colour in yourself. If you want to do a different colour scheme to the one I've chosen, you can, you know, do all whatever you like, do whichever colours you like. Obviously, it depends what paper you print it on, what kind of materials you can use. This is really quite good quality sticker paper, and pencils will go on it fine. And I think paint might be okay, but obviously it's up to you. Some pens may bleed on certain papers, but yeah, print it on whatever you like and have a go. So yeah, the idea being, I've done a coloured one with the coloured strip and then black and white one, and if you wanted to kind of paint on top of here or just use it as black and white, I thought that would be a good option for you. So I'm really pleased with it, and I was comparing it to the original, and it's like, it's almost nicer because I had a little play with the colour adjustments on Photoshop, and yeah, I think I whacked up the vibrance scale, I think, so it's a lot more vibrant, but it's actually, I'm really pleased with the quality of it compared to the original here. And then I use this font. This font is one that I've designed myself, so it's like I actually designed the letters, I drew the letters, so it's a completely original font. And I went for this book belongs to, because books, the word book can cover planners and journals, so you could stick this in front of your journal or whatever. Yeah, so also, if you don't want to have it with this book belongs to, you can actually cut the centre bit out. So the reason I did the lettering in the middle, like with a blank bit, is so that if you didn't want to use this as a book plate, you can just cut this out, cut the centre piece out, or stick something over the top if you want to do something there. If you wanted to put a picture in, you could stick the picture over the top or whatever. But yeah, so that is the mini sheet that goes to everybody. And then I have 3 sheets which go to my top 2 tiers coming up. So the first one I put on, so the same thing, a coloured version and a black and white version, but that's the stationery themed one. So this is more like journals and stationery and pens and paints and washi tape and things like that. So again, a coloured version and a non-coloured version. Oh, I should say, I did do these like little banner things at the top, and I did them at the bottom as well. You don't have to put anything in there, but the reason I put those in there is because if you're doing like a, I don't know, a journal that's specific to a certain year, you might want to put the year at the top, or you might want to put the year it started, the year it finishes, or it might be a book dedicated to, like if you're doing a planner or a journal to your child, you might want to put the name, and then you might, I don't know, you might want to write something in there. So I left those there, but I don't, if you don't want to have anything to write in them, I think that probably looks all right blank. On the stationery one, there's only one at the top because I turned the bottom one into a pencil case, but on the black and white version, you could write in the pencil case if you wanted to put the date there or something else, or a name or whatever. So this one has the book version, like the stationery version, sorry, and then I added in these illustrations at the bottom. And I had this one and this one, all of these ones basically are just as they were on the sheet, just slightly colour adjusted to make it sort of more bright, I suppose. But this one I put like oak leaves and acorns around it, and I left it blank in case you want to like write something in there. And then behind that I put some of like my pen tests. So around the edge of a page I do like these pen paint tests to check the colour, and I put those behind there. And then this one, I like the bookshelf, but I thought it looked a bit plain on its own, and I had this squirrel, and I thought the squirrel was so cute because it's sort of hugging that acorn the way this girl or boy or whoever is hugging a book. So I thought I'd pop it on top of the bookshelf, and I thought that was quite cute. So that's sheet 1. This is sheet 2. So sheet 2 I just filled up with all the like other little illustrations and doodles I'd done. So it's a mixture of things. I've got the big desks with all the books and the pencils and planners on. I put the figures. Did I put them all on in the end? I think I did. I think I put them all in because I was thinking I didn't know which ones to use, and they are slightly different styles. This style of drawing for me is different to this style, and then of course this one at the top is completely different, but I put it on because it's one of my favourites. So very simple. But anyway, there was a space, so I thought I'd put it in. But yeah, this is a mixture of like fairly smaller icons and smaller pictures. So I hope some of you will enjoy using those in your journals or whatever. And then sheet 3, what I did is I sort of digitally cut up all of the items that I'd drawn. If I show you the original, you'll know what I mean. So I was using this sheet here. So for this sheet, I'd just drawn loads of random stationery and notebooks and vases and stuff. The kind of things that if I was going to do a still life, I'd probably do. Like, I don't necessarily have fruit on my table, but I'll have a notebook or whatever. So I cut all of these little images out digitally and then assembled them into 6 little still life images. So 3 along the top, 3 along the bottom, and then I filled the centre with this repeat pattern because I wanted to share this pattern. For those of you that scrapbook, and you can also use it for background, or you could use it as like washi. You just have to cut it into strips if you want to use it as washi or whatever. And yeah, but I thought I would do the still life images separate from that, so they're easier to cut out and stick wherever you want them. So those are all my sheets, and I'm really pleased with them. And like I said, this doesn't happen very often. I think last month I was like, I did good. But this month I'm like, I don't know. I can feel my confidence sort of going up a notch of like what I can actually do. Like, I can actually do this. Like, so I'm feeling like, I don't know, I feel accomplished right now. And yeah, so these will have already gone out to my patrons. By the time this video goes out, these will already be available. So if you are a patron of mine, thank you. I can't say thank you so much. I know I say this all the time, but if you weren't there saying to me that you would like to sponsor me and support me, I wouldn't have been able to do this. Like, that is exactly how it works. There's no way I would have been able to do these drawings. There's no way I'd be sitting here feeling like I've actually done something worthwhile. Like, it's literally because it's completely and utterly because you've agreed to sponsor me. Not like I've tried to persuade you, but you've chosen to, and it honestly, thank you. Yeah, so I have got my digital sheets done for this month, so they've already gone out to my patrons. If you are interested in getting hold of these, all you have to do is sign up to my Patreon. These are all for personal use, as you can see, and they're available for the next 12 months. So if you sign up within the next 12 months, you'll be able to get these sheets from Patreon. The link will be down below. So I've done the digital sheets, and I can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief now, and I'm actually really excited to cut them out because I'd really love to see what this looks like in the front of the book. This size here, I should just say, is on an A4 sheet. So this size is, if you print this on A4, this will fit on an A6 page. So then if you put it on an A5 page, it would obviously not fill the page, but it would certainly fit. This is not A5, this is actually F0, apparently, a Cotman MD notebook. But you can see, A5 is only slightly bigger, about that bigger. It would sit in the middle of the page like that. But if you wanted to put it on A5, I don't know, can you do it? Maybe if you did I don't know, 150%? I don't know, I can't do the maths. But if you play around with your printer settings, you would be able to enlarge or make this even smaller if you're in smaller. Because I think if you're in a passport traveler's notebook, you'd need to do this smaller. But yeah, just play around with the percentages on your printer and enjoy. So I really hope those of you that are on my Patreon love these and enjoy these. And I need to get them uploaded right now and get them available. So yeah, I'm really excited to cut those up. I had a really good drawing session this past week. Really happy with all of that. So thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Please like and leave a comment to say hello. I'd love to hear from you, see what you think. Thank you, and I will see you again soon. Bye.